Welcome to my channel. What I'm about to show you might look like an ordinary piece of change, something you'd toss in a drawer, forget in your jeans pocket, or use for a quick soda. But what if I told you that this little piece of metal, this humble-looking 2 Rand coin from 1990, could hold a story so powerful, so rare, and so potentially valuable that it might just change the way you see every coin in your house? This is not just money. This is history. This is legacy. This is mystery in your palm. Welcome to the untold tale of the 1990 South African 2 Rand coin, a coin some collectors believe might be worth thousands, lakhs, maybe even millions under the right condition. Hey everyone, welcome back to Coin Explorer, the place where hidden treasures are uncovered, history is revived, and old coins turn into golden stories. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Because today's episode might just make you run to your coin box in disbelief. Now, let's talk about something that many collectors ignore. The 2 Rand coin, specifically the one from the year 1990. At a glance, it seems ordinary. It's worn, faded, nothing special. But look closer, and you'll find a piece of metal that may carry one of the most fascinating stories in South African numismatics. What makes the 1992 Rand coin so special? Let's begin on the surface. Literally, the 1990 South African 2 Rand coin features, on its reverse side, the proud kudu antelope, one of Africa's most majestic animals. With its long, spiraling horns and powerful frame, it symbolizes strength, grace, and endurance. Turn the coin over, and you're greeted by the South African coat of arms, an intricate emblem that stands for unity, heritage, and power. And right at the bottom, the year that ties it all together, 1990. Now, why is 1990 so significant? Because it wasn't just another year in South Africa's calendar. It was the dawn of change, 1990, a year that echoed across the world. The apartheid regime was beginning to crumble, and in February of that year, Nelson Mandela, after spending 27 long years in prison, walked free. It was a turning point, a moment when the nation paused, a collective breath as South Africa prepared to write a new chapter. And while the people marched, the streets echoed, and political walls collapsed, something else was happening behind closed doors. The South African Mint was striking coins, day in, day out, like they always did. But what they may not have known was that one particular coin they struck that year, the 2 Rand, would carry more than just monetary value. It would carry legacy. The mystery deepens. Over the years, whispers began to rise. Collectors started reporting unusual traits in their 1990 2 Rand coins, slight changes in the kudu's horn curvature, misalignments on the coat of arms, die cracks, weak strikes, even faint ghost-like images beneath the surface. Some were subtle, others unmistakable. Were these minting errors or trial strikes? Could it be that, during the national chaos of 1990, a limited batch of coins was produced using outdated dies or even experimental ones? No official statement ever confirmed it, and that made it even more fascinating. What makes a coin valuable? Let's pause here. Why do some coins become extremely valuable? It comes down to a perfect storm of 5 things. 1. Rarity. How many exist? Second condition, is it worn or nearly flawless? 3. Errors. Was there something unusual in the minting process? 4. Historical significance. Did the coin come from a key era? 5. Collector obsession. Is there a demand? Now take all of those and apply them to the 1990 2 Rand. Rare? Some variants might be, especially those with reported errors. Condition? Many are worn, but a mint state version? That's a different story. Errors? We're seeing more and more examples with die shifts, misstrikes, and edge anomalies. Historical? Absolutely. The year Mandela was released. A nation transforming. Obsession? It's growing, especially as more people uncover strange variations in their collections. Real collector stories. Let me tell you a story that shook the numismatic world. In 2011, a retired schoolteacher in Bloemfontein, was organizing her late husband's belongings. In a dusty drawer, tucked inside an old leather wallet, she found a 1990 2 rand coin. Nothing unusual, at first glance. But as she cleaned it gently, she noticed something strange. The coat of arms seemed blurred, and the antelope's horn had an odd split. Curious, she took it to a local appraiser. That appraiser sent it to a grading agency. It returned with a note: possible mint error, dye deterioration, extremely fine condition. Soon after, whispers began. An anonymous collector offered a life-changing sum, believed to be in the tens of thousands of dollars. She never sold it, because to her it wasn't just a coin. It was a memory, a symbol of a time gone by, a hidden gift from the past. Breaking down the coin. Let's get technical. The 1990 South African 2 rand coin is metal, nickel-plated copper nickel color, silvery with a slightly matte finish. Diameter approximately 23 millimeters. Weight around 5.5 grams. Edge reeded, grooved. Obverse, South African coat of arms with Suid-Afrika, South Africa. Reverse, a striking kudu antelope with the denomination 2 rand. In its normal form, it's functional, durable, meant for everyday use. But when collectors find those slight deviations, that's when its potential skyrockets. The power of errors. What kind of errors increase a coin's value? 1. Double strikes, where the design appears twice, slightly offset. 2. Die cracks, lines across the coin caused by damaged minting tools. 3. Off-center designs, misalignments that cause part of the image to be missing. 4. Planche flaws, imperfections in the metal before striking. 5. Ghosting or shadows, faint impressions of other designs. Coins with such errors, when authenticated, can become incredibly desirable. And when you combine that with a significant year like 1990, boom, potential value goes through the roof. In some cases, coins like these have been known to reach values in the thousands, even lakhs or millions, especially in international auctions where demand meets rarity. Of course, not every coin will be worth that, but the possibility is what keeps collectors searching, a symbol of change. Let's go deeper. This coin isn't just rare because of its condition or errors. It's rare because of what it represents. 1990 was the beginning of the end for apartheid. It was the start of reconciliation, of rewriting a nation's story. The 2 rand coin from that year, it was part of that era. It passed through hands that voted in the first free elections. It might have been held by people witnessing Mandela's first public speech. It's a silent witness to history. And holding one today is like holding a memory, a fragment of a moment the world will never forget. Could you have one? Now here's the real question. Could you be holding one of these valuable 1990 2 rand coins? Maybe it's sitting in a drawer. Maybe it's buried in an old piggy bank. Maybe it's lost between couch cushions or stashed in a collection you haven't touched in years. Here's what to do. 1. Search your home for old South African coins. 2. Inspect any 2 rand coins dated 1990 carefully. 3. Look for signs: die cracks, off-center images, faded coat of arms, unusual edges. 4. Weigh them. Some planche errors show up as weight differences. 5. Send them to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC for evaluation. Because if you're lucky, if you find that one rare piece, it might just be the treasure you never knew you had. The rising market. And don't underestimate the coin market. Over the past few years, interest in African numismatics has exploded. Collectors from Europe, Asia, and the Americas are now paying top dollar for coins from South Africa, especially those tied to key historical moments. With the right coin in the right condition, authenticated by the right expert, you're not just selling metal. You're selling story, rarity, emotion. And that is priceless. A word of caution. Now, let's be clear. Not every 1990 2 rand coin is worth a fortune. Many were circulated, many are worn, and many don't have errors. So don't fall for online scams or fake valuations. Always consult professionals. Always get proper grading, but don't ignore them either. Because some of these coins do exist in rare forms, and even one can change everything. A treasure within reach. So here's your mission, coin explorers. Go digging. Search your coin jars, old boxes, and family stashes. If you find a 1990 2 Rand coin, take a moment. Feel its weight. Examine its details. Ask questions. Because what you're holding might not be ordinary. It might be extraordinary. A symbol of change, a witness to history, and possibly a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mystery and magic of the 1990 South African 2 Rand coin, hit that like button. Share this video with other collectors. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're only scratching the surface of the coin world's most incredible stories. Drop a comment if you have a 2 Rand coin from 1990. Who knows, maybe you hold the next $1 million mystery. And remember, check your change, chase the mystery, and never stop exploring. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.